Welcome again, everyone. Hopefully this time the sound. Again, you check and double check, restart OBS, Pulse audio daemon is gone. You don't have audio, the recurring theme of 2019. So, what I wanted to say is, in case we are live, which you can also not be sure in this day and age, you have realized when I travel, although I traveled with dongles, you can never have enough of those dongles. Even if you have dongles, you might miss one adapter or two or a cable. And then, welcome everyone in the audience. I hope, good afternoon again. Yeah, I hope the audio is perfect, not only better, but perfect. So the thing is, even here I flew actually, do I also have this somewhere here? All right, scene. So even though I flew last year or so my old display here, because I'm sometimes here and needed a display, and forgot that it has DVI here, my old display from when I was a student, out of my basement, and also this amazing ThinkPad has, which we could also autofocus jack, right? That has even amazingly HDMI, and I have a dongle here with also has HDMI. I don't have an HDMI cable with me, and even if I would have an HDMI cable, then I would not have the HDMI adapter thing for the display unless I have just this special Snowflake HDMI to DVI cable. And this is not too much of a deal. And I wouldn't mind to show you constantly here. This, just in my opinion, this doesn't look so amazing when you sometimes see this kaleidoscope mirror effect here of OBS restreaming itself, as well as here's a YouTube Studio for reading the comments. Also, it looks annoying if I look on another display to read the comments. Of course, in Berlin I have the dual display setup, but even then I don't like it so much in Berlin right now, also dual display, but then you always look somewhere else and might not look perfect. Right now I was here like working, and somehow it came to me while I was doing random other things, how it usually is. There are amazing old-fashioned X11 features for that. So what I have done now, and I have not used this feature in a decade, is called panning. Let me just change the camera view. The only thing that I really miss is my amazing Sun keyboard, right, with a battery of extra keyboards. So what I've set up now is panning, and so now I capture here this for news or whatever, and then I can pan here with a mouse, touchpad, or of course the amazing Sync, what was it even called? Sync something, I forgot. You get the idea. Sync point, track point, something of the sort. Anyway, so now with this, this allows me to quickly check, go over here and check if, hey, 0 frames, amazing stuff with a VPN, as well as comments in the audience without, oops, I think I might have pressed wrong, without constantly showing them to you, which I would not mind, just I think it looks a little bit unprofessional and distorted and not as amazing. And while this looks amazing, so first of all, yeah, you need to zoom over there, some thoughts to that. So I thought I share this with you. Of course I could just hide this, but I thought it's a neat tip that I rediscovered this, how to set this up. Let me just put you back there for a second. So how to set this up nowadays? Back in the day, decades ago, this was simply, I also can change the scene. So you see I check this, you don't even realize much that I check here my OBS streaming. So back in the day this was hard-coded, this was an X server option, you had this in etc x11, x3, 68 something config, 68 something like x3, probably when it was named like something of that sort. Nowadays, of course, xorconf, because why not? And you would have their larger display dimension than your display or monitor. Nowadays, since a decade or so, you can change this on the fly here with probably, where did I leave that? Anyway, with xrender output, then let's type this again, xrender output like EDP1, this is it an embedded display port, I guess, and then like panning, and then I usually calculate this, like this is shell mass formula expansion stuff, so 1920 multiplied by 2. I think the syntax is something of that sort. And this doubles your display width here, which I thought might be a good tip for you. Also for you to save a display, because honestly I'm myself not the greatest fan of multiple displays. And there is even now this amazing setup and you don't find your, yeah, something is strange here. Somehow on my black box task switching thing here is strangely scaled. And yeah, it's called the nipple, obviously, thank you for that. And so I thought it's maybe an amazing tip for many of you who want more screen real estate. Of course, I personally, I'm not often had dual display setups, even though I sometimes had them. Fun fact, I have even 2 of these here. The other one is still in the office. So even when I was a student, I had here this 2 times. The other one is in the office for embedded testing and whatnot, and other open via PC building server stuff. Because even there, this was even a cheap ViewSonics display for, I don't know, 270 euros or something of that sort, 15 years ago or something like that. And there you see the difference between this and Apple, right? This PC stuff you can still use. And even an Apple Cinema display, which I also have one, but whatever, has only 1 DVI connection. And this display has 2 times VGA, because it was VGA days, and 1 DVI. And so yeah, really great if you have some PowerPC, some Spark, you plug it in there and you can switch with 1 button. And anyway, I recently met someone in the train, not IT, some regular literature, something of that sort. And he was working with 4 displays, like 3 external and 1 of the MacBook, which I found really extreme. Not even, well, everyone how they please, just that I found this a little bit wasteful, not only in terms of investment, but also energy consumption. And yeah, personally, I rather use here Alt-Tab and avoid turning my head and refocus and look on the display where I left off, and rather Alt-Tab with 1 display, Alt-Tab back and forth. Also, even when I'm doing hardcore image processing, DSP stuff there with Exact Image and our commercial stuff, and even reverse engineering, I rather prefer Alt-Tab for the other wire capture, image processing, whatever source code view than turning around and stuff like this. Yeah, this is just another thing. It still works. Sometimes this kind of esoteric X-render, by the way, standing for X rotate and resize extension. You can also rotate and resize and stuff. And yeah, sometimes those features are a little bit buggy. For example, just here, the last time I was here and needed this display, and because this was high DPI, maybe even probably with my own Surface, maybe the Dell XPS or a Retina MacBook Pro, to avoid high DPI scaling issues, I just scaled this to twice the resolution and have the graphic GPU just downscale this. So because this is 1280 by 1024, so I doubled this, effectively making this like Retina display, just that you don't really see the Retina pixels, and that avoided a little bit the scaling headaches that you unfortunately still have, although they become less in Linux. But I think this kind of this is still a headache in my opinion, even on Windows, right? So the only thing where it is more amazing is on macOS, and this could easily be fixed in Linux, but that is probably a story for another day. So I used the scaling, doubled the resolution, like of course not to the display, just internally in the frame buffer, and then the Intel or whatever Xorg driver scaled this down on output scanning there to the CRT output, and this made my use here of this high DPI external display stuff so much more amazing in Linux. But again, sometimes this features, because then there are only 5 people in the world using those. When I used the scaling, it was buggy, and yeah, it needed a hotfix even in T2 then. But it's fixed in Xorg. I think I recently found a similar issue that might not have been fixed. There was something with positioning. So with the scaling, I think there was something of like maybe the position wasn't scaled or something. This was a little bit error prone to scale and position. But yeah, otherwise, Really like the setup. Hope you like sharing these tips and tricks. In my opinion, also leave me in the comments below. Again here, showing you the use case for this. Here's what we show to the users, and here's a check of OBS. And yeah, speaking about bugs, wait a second, is this the right? Somehow I press something. Oh no, it's the wrong, was it not? Come on. Only live on YouTube, should be alt tab. Where is my, somehow my, it's doing something. Where is my, somehow my black box key switching? Or is it on this? Somehow this is, ah yeah, right, this is fixed position. Yeah, something is wrong. Okay, this is the thing that I'm actually looking for. Ah right, this is visible there. Yeah, this is the only drawback then, but yeah, whatever. Not the most important. This switcher, you can switch blind or click or patch your window manager or whatever you want to do with it. Anyway, I think this is helpful for all of you working with source code, virtual machines and stuff. Just scroll over there, saves you display, saves you money, electricity, especially on Friday for Future, and fun stuff for this. But leave me in the comments below. Right now I realize why this is smaller, because it's of course stupid. Oh, wait, I can't see this. Anyway, yeah, it is smaller because it's in the OBS capture. This is why I was thinking there's some scaling issue with high DPI, but no, it's simply not visible, the Alt tab switcher. Speaking about that, I can show you one more thing. Last night, I commented this already on the YouTube live stream. I took a quick look because we still had some in the 3dFX Voodoo code there. We had this pixel line with a hardware isolated triangle filling. Still need to fix textures, but there was this hairline. If you watch the video, you still remember. There is on those cubes that we spin, there was this hairline that was very much visible. I thought maybe set buffer fighting of the precision of the depth buffer there, of what kind of triangles we have painted already somewhere. But chatting with someone commented there, yeah, the Voodoo is doing this and this and so on. And then I thought, yeah, I could actually take a look. And there is a bit that is this bit, FB set color control bit 26 here, FB set color pass. Bit 26 is subpixel correction. And as you see, this works quite well. And what this does is, without this bit being set, the Voodoo hardware is truncating those values. Of course, all those values, all the points, all the vertexes here of this triangles and such, they are floating point because we transform them. Even if we would lay them out here precisely on the pixel grid, they, as soon as we rotate them just a little bit, of course, all of them would be fractional with 128.1273 or whatever. And it turns out without this bit being set, the Voodoo is truncating this, or rounding or truncating, I don't know, something of that sort. And this is why this was so visible. Now we still have this a little bit visible. So before here were very large 1 pixel lines visible. With this bit being set, we have only a few pixel highlighting there. Sometimes this is, of course, still the same imprecision. Maybe if we additionally enable dithering, this might go away, or also set buffer precision, maybe still, or something of that sort. Maybe also another set buffer compare operator. I'm not sure if we right now, but I think we should use less already. Equals something. Where would this be? This would be in draw world. Where is the world? Draw world is here, and set be less. Yeah, it's, I think set compare less should be fine. What we should be using. But yeah, some pixels, maybe in a whole game it's not so visible because so much graphical stuff, and it's like a wall and then it's like just the next one. But when you were wondering why do you sometimes see such flickering dots, yeah, it's rounding precision, set buffer, depth precision, and dithering. Maybe it goes away with dithering, maybe with nicer, more textures, not as extreme colorful textures, obviously, if you have a wall and some enemies and whatnot, and spaceships and with similar colors, it's anyway not so visible. But yeah, just wanted to share this as well, and then I don't need to make a dedicated video about that. Control and middle mouse button. Yeah, then we also announced that just some bit you do every day. And yeah, let's see if we have comments. Maybe someone commented already regarding displays. Does it thermal throttle? I think, let's see, thermal throttle here is close to root shell, amazing stuff, but it should not be much visible anyway. Not right now, as you see. This is only some HDMI capture, USB, random crap nonsense. So no, not by OBS live streaming, not sure. It says 8% CPU. Of course, the majority of the work is done by the hardware, fixed function hardware video encode to X264 or something of that sort that I mentioned in another video. And of course, this will thermal throttling, which, by the way, any other device, even my old-fashioned Retina MacBook Pro or Surface Pro 3 would not sustain this load, but of course the ThinkPad is generations newer. This is the T490S, loaned to us by Lenovo because they are amazing, and this is an Intel i7-8565U. Personally, I would again not go with the ultralight, slim and ultralight edition. I would not get the S. Maybe T490. For my work, I need a little more horsepower, especially for OBS live streaming. And I have to say the X1 Carbon was amazing. Even the previous gen, also the battery life was twice as long, although probably you can get a bigger battery option for this. But because this is more like 5 hours, the X1 Carbon with real programming load was over 10 hours. Hey, 0 drop frames, VPN connection going strong. And yeah, this will thermal throttle. So if you compile a kernel from source like emerge with T2 from source, this will also thermal throttle. Not the greatest fan for this, but that's what you get from all the vendors for slim and ultralight and fun stuff like that. Hope you enjoyed this tip. And also, yeah, you see this a little bit software assistant stuff. Maybe the usability I usually don't see is a 4K Dell Ultra Sharp on my main desk, which in the meantime also is 3 or 4 years old. But when it was new, that was when 4K displays were more state-of-the-art. Cheapskate as I am, I waited like 2 or 3 months that it came down from 1,300 to 1,090 euro or something of that sort. So I saved 200 something by just waiting 2 months. But of course, and it's not so large, right? It's only 23 inch, which is okay for me for high DPI, 200 DPI scaling. Yeah, so you see, just wait a couple of weeks or months and then you save already, and then use it for a decade or two, obviously. And yeah, so I didn't miss it, although I have a relatively expensive display. Of course, nowadays you get some similar displays for 400 euro, I guess. But yeah, for me, Alt-Tab is king. For concentration, you don't need to search it again, but again, leave me in the comments below. I know many people are heavy multi-monitor display people, multitasking stuff, but again, maybe this is even better productivity, but again, leave me in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something, and I hope to see you soon for the next videos and live streams to come.